Hey everyone, Dave here with Affordable Door and Gate. I hope you are doing great. So Ben reached out to me. This is kind of like part two. We had a live stream. I wanted to show his email. Ben, I hope you don't mind. I'm not going to disclose. Hopefully nothing's in here with last name or anything like that. And I really appreciate you sharing this with me. And I really appreciate the email. So you guys can always email me at the daveadubson@gmail.com. That's always the best. If there's anything you can put into this to help him out, please do. Obviously, we want kind words, we want encouragement, we want to be polite, and anything that's just helpful. Let's help this gentleman out. This is something that can go for the young bucks. It can also go for the middle age, and it can go for the older guys. You know what I mean? This is kind of one of those things that, the years they catch up with us, right? So I'm going to read some of this the best I can. I made it so hopefully you can see it. Let me know too if you guys see it in the comment or comment below if you see it and whatnot. Okay, so wow, I just got on YouTube and saw that you read this and already making a video. Give me your insight, your kind words. Greatly appreciate you, Mr. Dubson. He says time and insight to this. So many things you said resonate with me about leaving my customers and loving the door business, but being a one-man band. So Chuck in a truck, no offense, is too much physically for me to hire and trust people. This is something that I'll start talking about probably a little later in the video. It is hard for me to give trust when so many people, especially nowadays, are so selfish and dishonest. Very true. If they can only, if they can offer me a number for buying my phone number, name, client list, utility truck, 2006, Silverado 2500, one service truck, 2006, 1500, 2013 Skyjack scissor lift, a new 7K tilt deck, nice. I own my property. And he's got a 40 by 60 by 16 red iron building that I operate out of now, but the building will not be in the deal. So I'm assuming I could be wrong, it could be on his own property. It's just from his house, or he wants to use obviously the property for something else and not the garage door business. So I'll include all my garage door inventory like tracks, springs, seals, hardware, openers, cables, and other inventory. Probably around 30 to 40K is what he's got there. I gross $290K last year, an average 165 gross for the last 4 years, 90K average net a year. I've heard that the business sell for 3 to 5 years of income, but not sure. Net or gross income is multiplied. Scroll down here. I will not work for more than a month with a buyer. Buying company. I plan on signing a non-compete for just garage doors and rolling steel doors. I plan on immediately starting another door company, which threw me when I said that. I was like, what? Another door company, but he's doing walk-through doors and building a small storage facility. I think the small storage facility is probably an excellent idea. The walk-through doors, I don't know about that unless there's a huge market. We'll try to discuss that a little bit here. On the other hand, I've had a thought of just keeping it and trying to grow. We built from my 7-day a week to 12-hour day work week. Years, LOL. Yeah, I understand that. I started in the door biz helping my neighbors installing doors and his door business. And by 16, I was installing and servicing Home Depot and Lowe's, lumberyard, receiving rolling steels and mall grill installs. I'm now 35. Good age, and starting to feel those old injuries to need to make a decision, lower labor. All business talk aside, appreciate your lessons. Attitude, you can probably read the rest here. Let's see, shifts towards turning away from evil. He's got some nice things in here. Propaganda and all that good stuff. So, there's a lot of things here. And like I said, it's one of those things you can take it with a grain of salt. There's not one, like I said, magic pill to this. Now, here's the thing. If I'm reading it right, starting another door company, walk through doors. I'm just putting it out there. Just putting my 2 cents. And like I said, this is obviously, hey, everybody out here, is a big girl and a big boy, right? You do what you got to do, right? That's for sure. But I look at that stuff and I go, this is my opinion. You think garage doors are bad? Man doors are the worst. That's what we're talking through, walk-through doors. Because what I have found out, this has just been my experience, right? I used to do, when I first started out, we did fencing, we did gates, we did walk-through doors, we did sliding automatic doors that you see at your grocery store or a lumber yard, not lumber yard, but like a Home Depot, Menards, right? The automatic sliding doors. And I cannot tell you how I learned to hate it, because what I found out is you have to imagine, right? When you are a human or a kid or a toddler or whatever it is, right? What do you go through, right? You don't go through the window. You don't go through the wall. You go through a door. And what I'm trying to get at is that doors, when it comes to especially man doors or walk-through doors, they are, I mean, either people are in your way, either you're exposing, if you got cold or hot climates, right? So you're exposing it, right? And people are complaining, oh, my AC's running, or, oh my gosh, it's so cold in here. Or it's not latching right. It's not shutting right. I had a guy, I remember one time, it wasn't sealing tight enough for him. And I told him, I said, if I seal it up anymore, I said, the door's going to be really hard. I was worried he was going to rip the seal off, honestly, on the bottom. And he's like, I don't care. He goes, I can feel a draft. So I like to put that out there, that if you like to do man doors, and the thing is like, what I found out was really hard. Now the prices have come up on man doors anyways, but it would be like, I think we could get them for about like $140. It was under $200. And by the time I'd come in there and tell them it's going to be $218, $220, right, to do a regular man door on a house, I remember the people would be like, what? Well, I can buy the door for like $130, $145, and you're charging $200. And I'm like, yep. I'm like, but I'm also including the bottom. I'm including, the threshold. I'm doing trim. Now the box stores will not do that, and then when they get there, they'll charge extra for that. So that's kind of how they get you. So, but I think a small storage facility might be a little bit better option, right? I'm all about getting doors, and what I normally mean is like asset doors. You know what I mean? Like storage, rentals, anything that's got like. Nothing's 100% passive, but there's something completely different about when you're in. I don't even know how to explain it. I'm waiting for somebody to come up with terminology or tell me or show me a video. But when I have a rental, right, I have the power. I call somebody out. They have to service me, right? Or I have the option to take care of it myself. But it's like you're on that other end. I know how it feels to be on that other end. And when but when you're doing service, right, it's like you got to put the estimate together. You got to answer the phone. You got to say this correctly, or they're like, I'm going somewhere else, But when you have the real estate, it's like you can bring in the contractors as you will, right, or do it yourself. You don't like the price? No, well, but they're wasting their time in a sense. It's kind of about a time thing, some degree. Cheers, by the way. So it's tough. It's tough. I wouldn't be afraid, especially if I was kind of a small. I mean, it really depends on what you want to do. For me, it was never I wanted to just shut it down. I wanted it to still generate and still be there and be the next vehicle for somebody else. I wanted to teach. I want somebody to learn. I want somebody to grow. And I got super lucky. Cap was one that kind of, he fit the bill. He's a super honest dude. Took a long time to find him. Great dude. But I understand where it might be something that you piecemeal it out to, you know what I mean? Like you just kind of, especially if you're not, to me, it seems harder. This is just harder for me to the concept after I learned about a whole system, an ecosystem. If you don't have the property, you don't have a building, it's really difficult, I think, anyways. Not to say it can't be done, because obviously, like for me, like somebody's going to want the number. You know what I mean? I know somebody would want the number. For how much? I don't know, maybe $1,000, $5,000, whatever, and then at least they can still service your customers, right? And you didn't fall off the face of the earth. But, the other stuff is kind of, you can sell that on the open market, right? You put it on Facebook, you can sell it. Now, don't get me wrong. If somebody will come in and swoop everything up at a price that you like, then by all means. I mean, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. You might as well take your lump sum of money, hopefully, and it's going to be somebody else's problem. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of caveat, and this is good for like the young guys and everybody else kind of thinking about this stuff. You got to think about the future. And It's really tough. I agree. It doesn't seem like it's getting any better. I mean, you have to look at how society's being programmed. Look at what's in the media. We're not watching GI Joe and Superman and all this stuff and being a heroes, right? It's these weird commercials that have birds of a feather that don't flock together, and you got just all kinds of weird stuff going on, right? And you got a lot of people coming across the boards, and the board, and then the ers, you know what I mean? And it's really tough. It's really tough. So I totally get it. I think though, if it was me, I would try to focus more on, if you can do a storage, I would focus on it. If you're going to use it for the property or whatever, that's not a bad idea. That's still kind of a young company that's growing. I like them. You don't got to deal with the plumbing, stuff like that. Yeah, you got to deal with, the auctioneer and stuff like that when they don't pay. And you got to remember, the thing is with storage units too, is like what I heard from one of the guys that I work with. He always says to me, he says, the first thing though is that's the first person that stops paying, that does the Houdini when the economy's going bad. So right now is, especially we got to wait until we get into the middle of next year towards the end, is really see what kind of, who gets to be new cap. So, but Ben, I really appreciate the question. Like I said, if anybody else can throw some comments in to help you out, I hope they do. And I really appreciate the email. Like I said, if you got any more questions, go ahead and send them. But I get it, man. It's tough. It's 7 days a week, 12-hour days, work. A lot of people don't realize sometimes when you get into business, you turn into how do I say it? You're like a slave driver, you know what I mean, for yourself. It's not easy. It is not easy. And that's why it takes a long time to build up the system. It takes a long time to find the right people that are going to help you. And that's why I'm always trying to teach some of you younger guys that I'm going, if I look back, I probably would have got more into the real estate. I would have turned into a real estate investor or a salesman, or not a salesman, but a realtor. And I would have focused more on the real estate with more doors, because you can invest a lot of money, and then you got to take it in that if you're bringing people into your place too, right? You're bringing people into your home, your business, your location, right? Theft, remotes, everybody likes to take those kind of things, springs, and they don't think nothing of it when these things cost $20, $40, $60, $200 a pop. And people will they get sticky fingers. They think they're entitled to it. And I would agree, it gets to be kind of a mess. So I hope that somewhat helps. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And remember, keep all your fingers. We'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.